Hello everyone, Hector Mendoza here. Today I'm going to post 4 videos on how to create a world map. You know, like let's say you want to use it for a logo or whatever you want to use it for in Adobe Illustrator. So on one of them, if you notice, the horizontal lines are arch different on one side than the other. Then I have another one that if you want it arch, actually that one will be the same way. Let me see here. No, so you see I have this one arched this way and then this one's arched this way. So on this other one I have it arched this direction and then this direction. Then I have another world map with just straight lines. So there's a lot of ways of doing it. So I'm just gonna do 4 of them. I could probably do 20 different ones and still find other ways. But so I broke it down into 4 different videos. So if you do a search for create world using the shape builder tool version 1, then I got the version 2, world map using blend tool, create world map using blend tool with an arch. So those are going to be my 4 different videos. Alright, on this version of creating a world map, we're going to use a blending tool, and we're also going to arch the lines a little bit, and then I'll show you a different one that's even more simpler than the one we're about to do. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you organize your windows and your tools. Make sure you have your tools where you're going to need them, readily accessible. And as far as your windows, the ones that you're going to use, go ahead and put them down here, organize them so that you don't have to go here looking for them all the time. That's the first thing we want to do. Before we continue, I want to go File, Document Setup. You have a bunch of options that we can use on units. I want you to use points. Hit OK. Now we're going to create a circle. We're going to go down here to the tools. If yours doesn't say ellipse tool, because yours might say rectangle, it might have you know, a star or a flare tool. What I want you to do is make sure you put or select the ellipse tool. Once you do that, I want you to left click. I want you to type 300 points, 300 points, hit OK. Now right now it's off-centered in the page. So what I want you to do is go to your selection tool. I want you to select the circle. I want you to hit Control X. I want you to hit Control 0 and hit Control V, and that will paste it right on top, right in the center, the way you know, because I want this thing centered. You don't have to do what I'm about to do. I want to show you what happens if you don't hit Control 0 whenever you're hitting a paste. So if I hit Control V for paste, you see where he threw it inside the page. That's not what we want. So I'm going to delete. I'm going to hit Control 0. We're going to hit Control V. Now we're back to what I was instructing you to do. The next thing I want to do is I want to get this circle, and the fill, I want it to be none. So this should look with a square and a red line going through it, and then the backstroke should be black. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go to layers. I want you to select layers. Well, actually double click here and let's name this circle. Okay, that way we know what we're looking at. I'm going to click on the circle. I'm going to click on these 3 lines here. I'm going to duplicate the circle once. I'm going to select circle again. I'm going to duplicate the circle again. Oh, I hit delete, sorry about that. So let's go in here and tell it a duplicate circle. And then it named it circle, and then circle, well, name it circle copy, and then circle copy 2. So we can just leave it like that. For right now, I want to turn off the circle copy and the circle copy 2. So all we're going to be viewing is circle, and we're going to select circle so that otherwise it's not going to let us make changes to this layer. The first thing I want to do is I want to go here to this direct selection tool right here at the bottom. When you see the little white box, I want you to click on it, and then I want you to hit delete. Now we're going to go to the selection tool. While we have that selected, I'm going to hit Control C, Control V. What we're going to do is copy and paste that directly on top of each other. Okay, so we're going to hit Control C, Control F. I copied and pasted right on top of each other. So now I want you to make sure you see this right here, this referenced points. I want to make sure you click the one on the upper top middle one. I want you to change the width right here. So you got X, Y, you got the width, and then you got the height. On the width, I want you to change that to a 500 and hit enter. On the height, I want you to change that to a 300. Hit enter. Now I want you to grab this guy again. I want you to hit Control C, Control F. This time you see this reference box point. I want you to click the bottom one, bottom center one. We're going to change the width to 500, and then the height we're going to change that to 0.25. Okay, so now we're going to blend this one and this one. Okay, so first I want you to select the first one. You can be on this select tool, right? Hold your shift key and select that big circle. We're going to go to objects. We're going to go to blend options. I want you to go to spacing, specified steps. I want you to change that to a 5. Click here on the orientation and then hit OK. Now you need to go back to options. You need to go to blend, and this time I want you to make. Okay, so that creates your horizontal arch lines. Alright, the next thing I want you to do is, you see right here, I want you to left click, because you might have one of this other two selected. I want to make sure you select the shape blend tool. When you, okay, so you see this icon, it has my pointer, and then it has a little circle with a slash through it. That means there's no action that can be taken place right now. And for one reason is, if I select everything, you see, and I click on that same tool again, now I can get a plus. If I hold my Alt key, you see how it turns into a minus. Once you have that minus, you can left click and drag to an area that you want to remove. Now you see how it's not letting me do that, right? What you need to do is get on the selection tool, click on this blend that we created. We're going to go to object, we're going to go to blend, we're going to expand. Once you've done that, you can go to your tool here, the shape blender tool. Right now it has this circle because we don't have nothing selected, but if I go to my selection tool, select everything, go to that tool, now I have a plus, right? I want you to hold your Alt key and start selecting the areas that we want to remove. Now we want to go back to the direct selection tool and select any little dots that are outside that that circle. So I'm gonna make sure there's nothing else. That's real important to do whenever you're doing things, because sometimes when you copy and paste into a different document, those little points will mess up your XY coordinates. Now the next thing I want you to do is select your direct selection tool, click on this first line. We're going to have to delete it because it's distorted a little bit and I want a perfect line right there in the center. So we're going to hit delete, delete. Now we're going to duplicate this. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and duplicate this. So I'm going to click on my selection tool, lasso that object. We're going to click on rotate. If you have reflection, make sure you got rotate tool. I want you to double click on that. I want you to change this into 180 and I want you to preview it. Okay, so you see that's what we're going to do. But what we're going to do is we're going to copy it. Now while we have it copied, since it's rotated exactly 180 degrees, I can deselect it, hold my shift key, select it, and you'll see it snap. You see the intersection? I want both of those intersections right there. I want the center and the horizontal selected. That way you'll have a perfect circle, because when you do this right here, you don't want to be able to see any changes, because if you see any changes, that means that you didn't put it right back into the same location. Okay, now one thing that I see that I did wrong was I didn't select the circle itself. So let me hit Control Z, Control Z. Okay, so we're back to that same thing, right? For some reason it didn't copy that whole outside circle, so I'm gonna hit select everything. I'm gonna rotate it to 180, copy, select my selection tool, left click, hold my shift key, and have those two intersections. Okay, now we're back the way I want it. Now there's some cleanups I want to do, and I hate being anal, but this is just the way I am. If you go down here, you see that tiny little line right there? There's an extra little line there. I want to go to my direct selection tool. I want to click on that tiny little line. You'll see it selected, and we're going to delete it. You're going to have to hit delete twice. Now, do you really have to do that? Not really. It's just that's I don't know why I'm like that, but anyway, let's go down here, and same thing here. There's a tiny little line in here, not there, right there. See, if I click right here, there's a tiny little line. I'm going to hit delete. Okay, so I just know this from experience. So now, one thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a line from the center to the left. Remember, I was telling you we deleted that line because it was distorted a little bit. We're going to click on this line segment tool. I'm going to click. You see right here, that tells me that's the center of everything, right? So I'm going to go in here until I see the center line. I'm going to left click. I'm going to drag. I hold my shift key and it constrains it straight, and I'm just going to snap to that right line. I'm going to hit Control-0, and then that completes that one circle. Now we just got to do the vertical lines. So if you remember, we had duplicated that circle twice. So I can turn this layer off, and I have a circle there, and then I have a circle there. We're going to go ahead and use this circle. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my direct selection tool. I'm going to get right here in the center till I see my anchor point. When I left click here, I should see this anchor, and those two right there. If it looks like that, I want you to hit delete. Now, the next thing we're going to do, while we have this selected, if yours right here, if yours has it should, because I think we rotated earlier. So if you left click here, I want you to hit reflection tool. Okay, so now that you've done that, I want you to double click on it, and then we're gonna angle this so you can see the preview. Okay, you see, so we're going to vertically angle it 90 degrees, but we're gonna copy it because we selected it. Instead of copy and pasting it, we just went ahead and we didn't copy it, we just selected it, and we're gonna hit copy. Now we have two of them. I'm gonna go to my direct selection tool, my selection tool. I'm gonna deselect. I'm gonna hold my shift key. I'm gonna click on it, and because I got my shift key, it will constrain it. When I see both lines, the horizontal and vertical, you see the intersect line, I'm going to release my left mouse, then I'm going to release my shift mouse. Okay, so we're going to select both of those tools. Now, if this is not if this has a solid white line, you got to make sure you turn this into a, that we don't want no fill. Okay, so select both of them. Go to object. Go to blend objects. Hit blend objects. Here I want you to select specify steps. I want you to change it to a 5. Click here. Hit OK. Now I want you to go to objects. I want you to go to blend, and I want you to make. So that's what you just created. Now you can see the world map. So let's say that you want more lines, more vertical lines. Let's say you want more vertical lines. You can still go, while you have it selected, you can go to your blend options. Oops, I hit the wrong one. Objects, blend options, and let's change that to a 7. and hit OK. And then let's preview it. There you go. Now you have a world map with the lines going this way and then this way. So that's how you do that. I want to show you another one where we just put the lines straight, and that one doesn't take hardly any time to create. So you can watch my other video if you want, or if you like doing it this way, then you can use it this way. Thank you for watching my videos. Like I said, I got some other videos that show you how to draw a world map.